Hello everybody and welcome back to Obscurathon. I am Aeshmah and I'm gonna be running Muramasa Rebirth for you. This game originally released in 2009 on the Wii, however I'm gonna be playing Muramasa Rebirth, which is the re-release for the PlayStation Vita, and I'm gonna be playing on a PlayStation TV for this. We will be playing as Momohime, one of the two selectable characters, and we're gonna be playing on Legend difficulty, which is the easiest setting, because obviously we want to do a speedrun here, so gonna try and make this a little bit easier on us. Okay. Everything else, I guess we can talk about during the run itself, because we will be here for around 1.5 hours. So why don't we go ahead and get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, first thing that we're gonna do is obviously we are gonna skip the tutorial and change our settings just a little bit here, because I do want to use the digipad for movement. It makes it just a little bit easier for me to control. I don't like controlling this game with the analog stick. And we are off and away, and I guess the first thing that everybody is already noticing, that this game is just drop dead gorgeous. It is of course developed by Vanillaware, who are known for their very distinct art style. If you've ever played a Vanillaware game like Odin's Sphere or Dragon's Crown or the recent 13 Sentinels, I guess this should look a little bit familiar to you. Now, the way this game works, you can kinda think of it as like a Metroidvania, even though we are not gonna go and collect any new abilities like a double jump or similar things. We are rather gonna be collecting swords in order to progress through certain color-coded barriers to continue along the main quest. Now, the story of this game actually closely follows a variety of demon blades, hence the subtitle of the game, and basically those allow us to, break down these barriers I was just talking about. The game features basically two modes. One will be the exploration, which is what we're doing here, and then we will get randomly thrust into battles at certain points on the map. And you probably noticed the telltale word here, meaning random. Yes, all of these encounters are basically random, and that is obviously where the RNG factor in this run comes in, because on the one hand, I want to have as little encounters as possible, because obviously these take time to get through, but I also need to take a couple along the way in order to collect spirit and money, or rather souls and money, sorry, so I can forge new blades. What these do, I will talk about in just a moment, once we actually defeated the first boss and unlock the ability to forge new blades. Now, for now, we're just gonna make our way through this little forest here. We are already on the way to the first boss, and I can already tell that we are not getting so lucky with encounters. We basically got one on more or less every single screen so far, which is not great. You do not want to see that at all, because it wastes a lot of time. Basically encroach upon the first boss here, and there is, oh god, another fight. The game is just being relentless right now with these. Oh my lord. It's been a while since I've seen so many battles leading up to the first boss, and not gonna lie. Basically the game will feature the same progression. Like in every single act that we're gonna do, we're gonna go through a couple of areas, then we'll come to a boss area like this, then we'll go through one of these gates, come to a little story section where we are now required to talk to every NPC in order to proceed forward to the boss fight. So we just have to make sure that we don't overmatch, so we start talking to these people again, because obviously, once again, that will lose us some time. And once we've done that, we can proceed. You get another short scene, and then we are off to a boss fight. In this case, this blue monk. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna use 2 attacks and then do the sliding attack, because that deals the most amount of damage in the shortest time. We could normally finish our ground combo with an overhead slash that also does quite a bit of damage. However, it is way slower than doing the slide at the end there. And the boss so far not giving us a good pattern. He did 2 of the belly flops. Those basically take him the most amount of... Oh, and third one. Wow, yeah, this is really, really unfortunate. Especially since I got hit by that as well. We generally want him to use other attacks that are a little bit more beneficial, so I can actually continuously hit him. So let me actually concentrate just a little bit here, because he is not giving me anything beneficial here. My god, dude, what is wrong with you today? He is out for blood, I can already tell. I'm gonna try to keep him staggered so he actually doesn't do... I mean, it actually looks like he wants to do the belly flop just over and over again. I'm not letting him do that, no. But as you can already tell, boss fights in this game take quite a while. All of the bosses are very beefy indeed. They have multiple health bars that you have to go ahead and slash through, so you have to be really careful how you approach all of these, because dying resets the whole fight to the beginning. So you obviously do not want to die during any of these. Gonna switch back to the other blade here so I can evade his attacks a little bit easier. And maybe, yeah, strike him from the back. Okay, that's a little bit better. Let's maybe talk about the battle system a little bit. At the upper left corner you can see my health and my level, because this game features RPG elements. You can level up by collecting souls, and once you reach a certain amount of souls you will level up. That increases your health and your stats like vitality and strength. And those allow you to equip better and stronger blades, which in turn allow you to deal more damage. So far, so good. You can equip up to 3 swords at any one time. You can see the 3 that I have equipped in the upper middle portion of the screen, where it says Misty Slash, and then the icons for the other blades that I have equipped. Misty Slash being the special attack of the sword that I have equipped at the moment. And that was the first boss. Hooray! Got through that part. Seems like a life split might have frozen on me. I don't know. It's not reacting to my inputs. Sorry about that. Well, I guess we'll just have to do the speedrun without a timer then. Maybe it'll catch up soon. But yeah, now that we have defeated the first boss, we are getting our first special blade, which allows us to go through red barriers. So we can now go all the way back and cut down the red barrier that was impeding our progress right at the start. And then we can progress on with the game. As I was trying to explain earlier, every sword that we have has its own unique special ability. They have various uses, like you saw me teleport behind the boss to attack from there. The other ability that I was using was this upward slash that dealt quite a bit of damage to him, and there are various others. Like, there are about 108 swords in the game, so going over all of them would be quite the daunting task, so I'm not gonna do that. Now the swords are further divided into 2 categories, so we have swords and long swords. You can differentiate them by their icons. So once again, if you look to the top middle part of the screen here, you have on the left side that sword and its scabbard. That is a normal sword, and on the right side you have this really long sword that is kind of looking as it wants to penetrate the screen, and that is a long sword. Generally speaking, you never want to use the long swords, because while they do deal more damage per hit, they are very slow. Like, unbelievably so. They are really unwieldy to maneuver with and to hit enemies with, so we generally do not want to use them ever. Okay, we made it all the way back to the beginning. So we can now slash down this barrier and proceed over to Sagami. Yeah, sorry, LiveSplit is completely unresponsive at the moment. I would probably have to close down the program and restart it, but you know, that wouldn't do any good because we're already way on the way with the run here. So yeah, looks like we just have to do without a timer for this one. Sorry. Okay, gonna pick that up. Just to make sure that I actually pick up all the right things here. As you can see on the map, whenever there is a, well, this yellow orange treasure chest, oh, orange rather, not yellow, this orange treasure chest, that means that you can pick up an item on that screen somewhere. It doesn't exactly tell you where it is, but you know, it's just somewhere that you have to look around and find. Generally speaking, it's mostly easy to identify where these are, but you know, still, it rewards exploration. In this speedrun, obviously we are not going to pick up each and everything that is scattered around there, only the things that we need. And here we are actually gonna buy a recipe so we can now cook, and then some cabbages because we bought the recipe for the cabbage stew, which will increase our damage once we have cooked and eaten the cabbage stew. Alright, we made our way over to Musashi, and we're just gonna open the menu and cook. And doesn't this look lovely? I mean, the food in this game just looks so good. Oh my god, getting hungry just looking at it. And this is the forge, at which we can just forge new weapons on the fly, which is pretty neat if you ask me. And we have to make sure that we actually forge the right blades here, because they cost souls and a spirit, and those are obviously in short supply. Fighting some ghosts here. This is actually the encounter that you do not want to see, because the only way to defeat these ghosts is by hitting these projectiles back at them. And as you can see, this can take a while, because they also like to fly around. Wow, they actually managed to break my blade. Jesus. They are just an absolute pain. Now, I could have used a smoke bomb to get rid of them, or rather to escape from the fight, but I would rather save my smoke bombs because they are crucial in the later parts of the run. So I just opted to take the fight, take a little bit of the time loss there, and then just continue on and save my smoke bombs. And now we are basically just gonna try and make our way over to the boss area of the second boss. We just have to go through this town right here. And once again, we're just gonna take the fights against the enemies here. I rather like to fight ninjas because they have a chance to drop more smoke bombs for me. Because smoke bombs are increasingly expensive. Like, they cost me 80 mon. And money will be, well, a bit of a commodity going forwards, because we are hard pressed for money like at every single point during the run. So getting a smoke bomb drop off of these ninjas is like hugely beneficial to the run. Okay, we are now in the boss area of the second boss. This is basically just a very linear affair. We're just gonna try and make our way over to the end of this as quickly as we can. Hopefully we won't get too many encounters, and if we do get some encounters, hopefully they will be against ninjas who drop some lovely smoke bombs for me. But I also take no encounters. Oh well, okay, we got Oni. They're okay. At least you can dispatch Oni pretty quickly because they are they have very little HP. But as you can see, the areas where we have to take the fights are not exactly to our liking, because all the enemies are spread out to all the sides of the arena. and also on different levels, which makes it hard to easily group them up and just slash them down very easily like we did with these monks right here. So as you can see, RNG is like really a huge part of this speedrun. You can basically use minutes over the course of the run with bad fights. And we got another Oni fight. I'd rather not have seen this one. But I get, oops. This will just take, man, these are a pain. Alright, anyway. Got through them, and we should be very close to the boss now. Probably a couple more screens, hopefully no more encounters, because we already got our fair share here. And just as I said, these umbrella demons, once again, are kinda beneficial to me because these can drop whetstones. Whetstones allow me to repair my blades during fights, and we do need a couple of them, or rather I would like to have a couple of those whetstones for later on in the game. However, obviously we didn't get a single drop of them, so once again we just lost some time with that. And more encounters. At least we have got ninjas now. So fingers crossed for some smoke bombs, guys. Nope. But as you can see, the general fighting strategy that we have against these random encounters is basically to group these enemies up at one end of the screen and then just, you know, combo them to death as quickly as we can. Wow, we are getting a lot of encounters today. I think I was actually lying when I said that money is hard to come by. Because we should be, well, not exactly swimming in money, but we have quite a lot now. And with that, we are at the second boss. We're gonna cook another cabbage stew. That actually increases our damage. And, you know, since we are gonna be fighting a boss now, that is pretty good to have. Before we fight the boss, as always, we're gonna have a little story section. We're gonna talk to some NPCs and then we're gonna fight the boss. The boss in question being one Yudo. He is a flaming wheel of death, so to speak. He likes to go into the air, which we don't like because it is very much easier for us to combo enemies that are stationary, or not exactly stationary on the ground, but they have to be on the ground for us to combo them easily and to get a lot of damage in. So every time we have to fight in the air, it's basically a DPS loss for us. However, not a lot that we can do about this, as that is a boss enemy and he's just gonna do whatever the hell he pleases to. And here he is in all his glory. So once again, as long as he's on the ground, I'm gonna try and do the combo that I've done to the first boss as well. Didn't get the air juggle there, sadly. And as soon as he goes into the air, I'm gonna do 2 taps of the square button to not do the whole air combo that I could be doing, because the last hit of the air combo smashes you down into the ground. And if I just pause buffer the first 2 hits, I can basically indefinitely, well, not indefinitely, but I can stay in the air way longer. I'm just gonna hit all these fireballs back at him. Once I get lower to the ground, I will actually finish the combo just to get that last hit in that deals a little bit more damage than the strikes before that. You have to be really careful whenever he decides to do this dash where he just goes to the other end of the screen, because that can instantly break your sword, and that would be not so great. Let me say that. You do want to make sure that your blades do not break if you can help it. Just like that. Nothing that I could do there because I was kinda stuck. Oh god. Could you stand still, dude? He's got the zoomies today. Oh. Oh, what was that? Okay, we're nearly done with him. Down to the last... Oh, not yet to the last health bar. There's one more. But try and get rid of the flames on the ground if you can. Because if there are too many of these flames on the ground, he may do his super attack, which can more or less instantly one-shot you. So you don't want to see that if you can help it, for obvious reasons. Ah, okay, there we go. And that is the second boss down. And for that, obviously, we get another sword with which we can now break down the orange barriers and continue along the story. Just once again, talking with the NPCs here. And we'll be on our way. Now, you may have noticed that on the way here, I saved at one specific point in the earlier region. And now I'm going to use a bronze mirror to teleport back there. Because the bronze mirrors always bring you back to where you last saved. So every single save that I will be doing through the speedrun is actually planned out and necessary for us to go fast. Now we're gonna forge the Water Witch Blade and immediately equip that. Because every single blade also has a... Well, not every single blade, but most of the blades also have some passive abilities. And the Water Witch Blade makes it so that the enemies actually drop more money, which, as you might imagine, is quite beneficial to us. And a little while earlier, we actually forged the Peony Blade, which is the longsword, the third sword that I have equipped. And this is actually, I think, the only blade that will stay on during the whole game, because it passively increases our damage by just a little bit. It's not a huge increase, but obviously, since we will be having it for the whole game, it adds up pretty quickly. So that is like a mainstay for the run, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and flee from these Tengu because they are just awful to fight. I mean, there was only 2 of them, so I could have technically taken the fight, but we are looking pretty good on smoke bombs at the moment, so I think I can spare that one. Then again, if we're looking so good on smoke bombs, I might as well use them on the ghost, but oh well. We will make do somehow. Okay, so what actually is the story of this game? We are playing as Momohime. She is a princess and she was about to get wed to Yuki Nojo. Before that happened though, her husband-to-be, Yuki Nojo, was bound to be assassinated by a ruthless killer by the name of Jinkuro. However, Momohime got in the way, and all of a sudden, the soul of Jinkuro actually started inhibiting her body. So we're actually not playing as Momohime, but rather as Jinkuro, inhabiting the body of Momohime. Oh god, I'm not gonna fight these toads. These are deadly enemies, believe you me. Also, they have a lot of HP, so it takes a long while to chop them down, so you definitely want to try and escape that encounter if you can. And yeah, because Jinkuro actually wanted to inhibit Yuki Nojo's body to, you know, basically try to impersonate him and take over his belongings and swords fighting style and whatnot. However, since he is now inhibiting Momohime's body, he is more or less looking for a way out of it. And that is why he is trying to chase down different, you know, demon blades in order to transfer his soul back. Also, you saw the monk that we have spoken to a couple times now, that is Rankai. He basically saw through the plot of Jinkuro. He knows that it's actually Jinkuro, who is inhibiting Momohime's body, and he wants to forcefully evict him. However, obviously that would kill Jinkuro, and he isn't all too happy about that. So we are trying to escape Rankai if we can. And in the first act of the game, Rankai, or after the first act, or after the tutorial, Rankai actually stole away Momohime's soul, but if her soul and her body stay separate for too long, the body would die, effectively also killing Jinkuro. That is why in the second act we actually tracked down Momohime's soul, so she is kinda with us now. However, Jinkuro is still in control of the body. And now in the third act we are now looking for Yuki Nojo, because apparently he knows of a demon blade that might be beneficial to Jinkuro in his quest to get another body. So let's see how that plays out. And we've made it over to the boss area once again. Since I used a smoke bomb against the Tango, I'd rather not use another one against these ghosts, even though I should probably have saved the smoke bomb for these guys. But oh well. It is what it is sometimes. Here we picked up an Omura whetstone. With the whetstones you can repair your blades. You can actually see that at the top middle, once again, where my blades are located. You can see the Chaos Roar, which is the special ability of the blade that I currently have equipped, and the bar beneath it. And the bar beneath that is the spirit gauge of that particular blade. It tells me how often I can use the special attack of the blade, and you can also think of it as the durability of the blade. If that bar reaches 0, the blade breaks, and it takes a while for it to recharge before I can effectively use it again. I mean, I can still use the weapon, but I would deal very much decreased damage with it, basically rendering the blade useless for that fight, or for the duration where it is dull, so to speak. And if I use a whetstone, I can basically repair the blade, so it doesn't break. Makes sense, right? I think it does. Okay, we nearly made it to the third boss already. Once we get to the next screen, we are gonna cook another cabbage stew. Forge some new blades. Why do I never have enough soul here? That is concerning. During the boss fights, we're actually making use of a glitch in the game. Because whenever you get into a boss fight, the game always resets you back to the first blade that you have equipped. However, if before entering the boss fight you have another sword equipped, it actually inherits the attack power of the sword. That means that we will basically always have a normal short sword equipped in our first slot, and generally we will have very high powered weapon equipped in the second slot. So our short sword actually inherits the attack power of that other weapon, making making us deal way more damage than we should be dealing with this short sword, because once again the long swords are not very good to use. They are very, very slow. We do not want to do that. So we'll always want to fight with a short sword. However, with that we basically get the best of both worlds, the power of the long sword and the quickness of the short sword. This is Yuki Nojo. As I explained earlier, he is supposed to be our husband, but again the marriage didn't exactly happen. So now we are fighting him for the knowledge of a sword that could... Oh. Messed up the air juggle there. Sadly. I kinda lost my train of thought here, but I guess it doesn't matter because we're on a boss fight anyway. So just enjoy the show. Ah, I missed the last attack there, sadly. Oh, another juggle, huh? Okay, that was a pretty good juggle, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, there are basically two methods with which to deal with Yuki Nojo. One is to just endlessly barrage his sword, because he can also use his katana to block your attacks, as you basically see him do every single time I try to attack him until it breaks. And you can just keep attacking him over and over in order to break his blade, or you can actually use one of these charged attacks, which make this a little bit easier. However, they are pretty finicky to use. So most of the time I won't be doing that. But they can make things go by a little bit faster. So far this seems to be a pretty good fight, actually. Okay, we nearly have him. Down to the last health bar. This should be done pretty soon. Alright, there we go. Very good. That was a pretty clean fight, everything considered. This guy's taking a beating from his kinda but not really wife. Yeah. Hey, you can say that. You can say that, I think. So this is actually Jinkro, you just saw it. The green soul is Jinkro, the blue soul is Momohime, just in case you were wondering. And at this point Yuki Nojo basically acknowledges that the only reason he wanted to marry us was to ruin our clan. Because apparently, you know, he was just trying to marry us out of spite. Which is a wonderful trait to have, I guess. So I don't exactly feel sorry for him getting the beat down from us. I don't know about you guys. But yeah, once again, boss is done, so we're just gonna use a bronze mirror to teleport back, and we are now basically at the same point that we were just a while ago. And we got a new sword. We're gonna equip the Flames of Perdition, because that is more powerful than what we had before, and we will now basically make our way back to Musashi, the area that we visited in the second act, and from there proceed further to the next couple areas. Now you can check on the map. The map is actually trying to tell us that we should go in the other direction, if you look at the flag waving there in the wind. However, it is actually faster to go through Musashi to the next area, so you know, the map indication is kind of lying there a little bit. Well, I mean, you would still reach your destination, it would just take you way longer than by just going through Musashi here. And you know, we're speedrunners, we like to do things fast. So obviously we're gonna take this detour right here. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and fight you now, because I kinda wanna save on my smoke bombs. Because these enemies are still easy enough, but we will very soon reach the point where we basically, or rather a little bit later into the run, we won't be fighting, or we can't even fight specific battles anymore. Because we just won't be strong enough to go through those. I mean, we could go through those, but it would take us a long while, and they would be really hard battles to fight, so we'd rather not do that. These are Kappa. They are water spirits, and they are basically a pain to fight, because they jump all around the area. They like to submerge themselves in water, making them invincible, and basically, once again, a bit of a time loss fighting those guys. Or rather, as always, you would like to, you know, fight ninjas. Yeah, once again, sorry about the timer, guys. That's a problem on my end. Basically, live split just stopped functioning for whatever reason. And I can't exactly easily restart that thing. I mean, I could just restart the whole program, but you know, it would just start counting down from 0 again. And that would be too great. I mean, it would be a really good speedrun. Because the end time would be ludicrously fast, but you know, starting the timer in the middle of the run isn't exactly going to work out, I suppose. Just have to retime this one manually. Okay, we're gonna go down this lock. I'm gonna fight a bunch of ninjas. One of them survived. And we're gonna pick up a second cooking recipe here for the Simmering Pheasant. So now we actually have 2 meals that we can cook, and we will use those at different points and in the speedrun. Like we had the cabbage stew before, and if you remember, that increases our strength, so we deal more damage, so obviously we're going to use that against bosses. However, what the Simmering Pheasant does, it basically decreases the amount of random encounters that we're getting. It is only a chance, so, you know, that thing might as well fail, but, you know, just having a chance of having fewer encounters is definitely worth having. So let's hope that once we cook the Simmering Pheasant that we're actually getting less encounters, because that would be absolutely fantastic. Also, let me just tell you that I absolutely adore the music in this game. I think it is absolutely fantastic. And apart from the absolutely gorgeous graphics, it was actually one of the main reasons I started speedrunning this game, because I just love the soundtrack so much. And you know, it's just a really fun game to play. Like, there is a lot to explore if you're playing it casually. We'll only basically scratch the surface just a little bit during the speedrun. But there are a lot of areas to explore. There are 3 endings per character. So it has a lot of replay value. And a couple different difficulty options as well. Like, there is a kind of one-hit KO mode, the Fury mode, which makes it so that you only ever have 1 HP, which is kind of harrowing from time to time. Because as you can imagine, it's pretty easy to get hit during a run like this. Now, do keep in mind that your character will actually automatically block whenever you're not attacking yourself, so it's easier than it might sound to finish Fury mode, but it will still definitely test your abilities. Okay, we actually have 9 smoke bombs now, which is phenomenal. I very much do like that, because we can be a little bit more deliberate in our usage of them then. Which actually reminds me, let me just quickly go ahead, because I think I forgot to forge this blade right here. We're gonna need that in a little while. Just before I totally forget that, also pick up this item there, please and thank you. Didn't want to pick that up, but I guess it's okay. Of course, now that I have 9 smoke bombs, the ninjas start dropping more smoke bombs, so I just can't pick it up. Ah, the spite. Okay, making another save here, because we want to walk back here a little bit later. With a little bit later, I mean after the boss. Also, you might have noticed that there are actually two separate kinds of encounters that we can get into. One are the locked battles, where you are basically locked to the screen that you're on and you have to defeat all the enemies in order to progress. And then there are the unlocked fights, which immediately start when you enter an area, and they basically take place over the whole area that you are in. And you do not actually have to fight any enemies during those. You can just continue on your way unimpeded, which is pretty nice and useful to know during a speedrun. So once again, I had to take this fight here because this was one of the locked encounters. And in the next screen we should... okay, another locked one. I mean, I could probably just go ahead and use some of my smoke bombs, shouldn't I? I probably should absolutely do that. I'm not used to having this many smoke bombs at this spot in the game, so... kind of overwhelmed with that. So yeah, this encounter immediately started when I entered the area, so I know it's an unlocked one, so I can just proceed without having to fight any of these enemies. And these encounters also will always happen when you get to that area. There is no way to circumvent them. I'm actually going to use a smoke bomb here, hoping that I won't get a lot of other encounters while I'm climbing this snowy mountain here. Nearly made it. And of course I got in another fight. Oh god. At least it's ninjas, so we have a chance once again to get more smoke bombs. I basically got the smoke bomb back that we used earlier, but we didn't. Now we also fought some silver ninjas here. They are very dangerous because they explode when they die, and that deals ludicrous amounts of damage to your sword. So you have to be aware of that. And we are at the 4th boss fight. Yeah, the music in this game, and especially in this area, is just really, really good. I highly enjoy that. I also like the fact that this game basically has two different soundtracks, one for exploration and one for the battles that are basically layered on top of each other. So if you get into a fight, basically, you know, you hear all the percussions and stuff kick in, which is really nice. Oh, great. Thank you, dude. Great start to this fight. He immediately broke my sword, because I didn't pay enough attention that he was trying to kick me. So now we have to use one of the long swords to fight him. As you can see, that's not really great. Oh, great. Wow. Dude, stop kicking me. You have other attacks, you know? Nope, he doesn't know. He just keeps on kicking. Okay, now that we have quote-unquote defeated the foot, we will go upstairs and fight the quote-unquote real boss. The main thing that we're trying to do here is hit these projectiles back into his eye. We could try and hit his fist to deal a little bit more damage, but if we do that, he will actually go ahead and shoot other projectiles out as well, and those are really, really deadly. So I'd rather not take the chance here and take things a little bit slower. But since we have nearly depleted this health bar, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit him like this. And this is the 3rd phase. He will now be in his true form. Yes, this is actually his true form and not the huge thing in the sky. And I will just try to hit this thing to a sliver of health left. So I don't want to deplete the whole health bar. Just like that. And now I will wait for him to transform back. And we will basically start the fight over again at this point. So there's the foot. I will use my special ability to immediately deplete his health bar. That brings his foot down, and I am now back up again here, because the fight is very much easier if you are up top instead of fighting his foot, because I mean you basically saw how the fight went when I was fighting his foot. Like, not well at all. Come on. Why are you such a pain? Come on, shoot more projectiles. Please. Okay, here we go. Now we're basically at the end of the fight, so we just have to go ahead and kill him now, and that will end the fight. Alright, there we go. That is the 4th boss of the rundown. So the game has 8 chapters. We have now completed the 4th one, so in terms of the story we're actually halfway done with the run already. However, the later chapters are a little bit longer than what we've done so far, so it's not exactly around the 50% mark just yet. However, the next couple boss fights, or basically all the next boss fights, are a huge step up in difficulty. So we have now left the easy part of the run, and things will start to get a lot more serious now. First of all, we're just gonna teleport back to where we saved earlier. Cook some more lovely cabbage stew. Equip our other sword again. And then we'll continue on our way. Now, let's talk a little bit about the currency that we have available in this game. So obviously, if we kill enemies, we get money. You know, we use money to buy stuff, as you've seen me do with the merchants that we have visited so far. There are 2 other currencies, and those are souls and spirit. Now, souls you can either pick up on, well, the map. They are those green, well, souls-like items that you see floating around. But I can also get souls by killing enemies, just like that. You know, these green orbs that start flying into me, these are souls. And there is a 3rd currency, and that is spirit. And you can only get spirit by consuming food. So while I mainly use the food in order to get the food buffs out of them, I will also need to eat, you know, to get more spirit, because you need your souls and spirit to be able to forge your swords. So if I don't eat enough at certain points in the run, I might not have enough spirit to forge a new sword, which would be hugely detrimental, as you might imagine. Because another thing that you have to keep in mind, every time you eat something in this game, you fill a fullness gauge. And as long as that is on screen, you cannot eat another food item. So you can't just, you know, like in other games like, I don't know, Skyrim or whatnot, just pause the fight and chow down on 20 wheels of cheese or something and then continue the fight. No, you actually have to pace yourself with eating. Well, there's quite a bit of stuff that you have to juggle during this run. Here we'll make another save, because after the next boss you want to come back here. And then at this merchant we will buy smoke bombs and cabbages. Very good. Man, I'm doing really well on smoke bombs. Very interesting. Can maybe try and escape from a couple and yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and try and escape this infight. For sure. And now we cook more Simmering Pheasant, because we have another huge area coming up where we want to get as little encounters as possible. And then we'll smash this green barrier and make our way into the 5th boss area. And this is a very huge castle, as you might be able to see like there in the background. Like, they definitely went a little bit overboard with the art here, I suppose. But it just looks so good. And yes, I love the little details in the game, like when you were in that bamboo forest, you can actually cut down the bamboo during the fight, and it falls over. It's just absolutely gorgeous game. Now we are fighting ninjas here, however, I actually went ahead and dropped down a smoke bomb because there are flying ninjas as well, and those are just an utter pain to fight. I would rather not do that. So I opted to just leave that fight. I mean, we definitely have enough smoke bombs to afford that. I'm not at all worried about that. Now we are inside the castle and we'll just proceed to the boss. Still a couple more screens to go through though. Oh, I actually got a whetstone out of that. Okay. Let's see, so far the ninja arts from the food that we cooked actually didn't give us a lot of benefits, because we still got a lot of fights. Just as I say it, we're getting into another one. Now, the reason why I'm pacing out my smoke bomb usage so deliberate is that in the next two chapters, 6 and 7, we need at least 6 smoke bombs for both boss areas, which is a lot. Because there are enemies there that we absolutely do not want to fight if we can help it at all. So I am very careful with my smoke bomb usage here. We just about made it to the next boss. Okay, one more screen. What's it gonna be? Okay, no encounter. Nice. Once again, make some cabbage stew. Forge a new blade. Equip the new blade. And then we're off to fight Nue. Now, Nue is definitely the boss where you notice that the difficulty is ranking up, because he can be an absolute pain. He's another flying boss, so it's really hard to hit him, and he has a lot of abilities to keep you at bay, so you can't actually just get to him to hit him in the first place. So let's see what he will do here. Okay. Okay, now he does the whirly thing, which is good. We want him to do this, because all the attacks that he can do when he's in the spinning phase are very easy to avoid and to abuse. So let me go ahead and use a whetstone here, because my weapon was kind of low. I'm not sure why he isn't. He should actually just keep on doing the spinning thing. Not sure why he doesn't. There he goes. Okay, just walk under him when he does that. Trick him into doing another move. He doesn't want to do it. Here he goes. He stays in the air. That means we have to jump over him. And then he is stunned for a little while, so we can go ahead and lay into him. And that is basically what we want him to do. You know, spin over you a couple of times, then jump over him when he goes for the attack, and then hit him while he is stunned. Okay. Will you just continue spinning? You will, okay. Good little boy. Okay, we about depleted half of his health, so we will now switch our sword. Hit him a couple times with that, or not. Switch back, continue the assault. And that should make it so that his health is low enough that he will continue spinning. And of course, as I say it, he's not doing that. So obviously, he wouldn't be doing that. Come on, dude. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay. Slowly grinding him down. But yeah, as you can see, the boss fights in this game just take ludicrously long. Like, you're nearly fighting the bosses at the end of an act as long as it took you to actually get to them. Okay, we are now down to the last health bars, so let's see if we can end this early. Wasn't quite enough. Just a little more. Okay, there we go. That wasn't a bad fight. I mean, it could have been a little bit quicker at certain parts. You know, especially in the middle where he didn't immediately start spinning again, but it was okay. It was okay. I can be happy with that. Now, the reason why we actually came here was, remember when we defeated Yuki Nojo? Well, he told us that this dude over here actually has one of the demon blades hidden in his storage room. However, as it turns out, that was actually not the case. So we are once again without a lead of where to go and acquire one of the demon blades in order to make the soul transfer. So Jinkiro now has the astonishing idea, let's just go to hell and try to find a demon blade there. I mean, where else would you look if you have no clues to go ahead and look for a demon blade, right? I mean, hell sounds as good a place as any for that. Before I do that though, let's forge more blades and equip them. To continue cooking. Oh, we don't have any pheasants anymore. Ooh, that's not good. Alright, guess we'll have to make do without pheasants for now. Wasn't able to buy some at the last merchant. Ah well, it's only a very small chance to not get any encounters anyway, and there we already go. Probably wouldn't have gotten this fight if I had more pheasants. But at least we have more strength to get through these fights kinda quickly, so it's not too bad. And, you know, we still need money. Okay. Also, it just makes it so that we probably hit the level thresholds that we need a little bit earlier, because as I explained earlier, not only do we need souls and spirit in order to forge the blade, we also need a specific amount of strength and vitality, which we get through leveling up, in order to actually equip the blades in the first place. So it's actually not too bad if we get, you know, a couple encounters here and there more as well. Just so we can hit some of these level thresholds, maybe a little bit earlier, and equip a blade a couple screens earlier to get through the fights even quicker. But as you can imagine, it's a lot of it's really just a balancing act, how many encounters you want to take, which encounters you take, and when. Because you have to keep in mind how many souls you have, what your level is, how much money you need for the next shop, how much time you would lose taking a specific encounters. So a lot of stuff goes into the routing of this game. And with that, a lot of RNG, because, well, you know, we basically have no control over which encounters we get and when we get them. So there is a lot of stuff that is up in the air. Which on the one hand makes this a very interesting speedrun because a lot of things can happen. But, you know, there's also a lot of potential for catastrophe happening and absolutely killing your run. Which might not make it as enticing for some people. But, you know, just get lulled in by the absolutely gorgeous art and the fantastic music. That always, you know, makes things a little bit more bearable, I think. Okay, another mechanic I think I have not talked about so far is the sword draw attack. After a certain while when you are fighting, your other swords will start flashing white at the top of the screen. And once that happens, if you change your blade then, you will actually do a screen-wide attack that damages all enemies for quite a bit of damage. So you don't want to change your blades too often. You kind of want to stay on one blade for a little while until at least that flashing happens, and then just hit the whole screen with a very powerful attack after that. Just like that, you know, you can see it flashing white now. That means I have the sword draw attack available. So if I were to change my sword now, I would hit all of these enemies for quite a bit of damage. That doesn't mean you should always use it, but it is a nice ace to have in the hole, so to speak. Making another tactical save. And then we'll proceed to the merchant, because we only have 5 smoke bombs. As I said before, we need at least 6 to make it safely through the next boss area. So we're gonna come to this merchant, buy smoke bombs and pheasants. I need pheasants. And then we'll proceed to the next boss area. So many ninjas, no smoke bombs. Sad face. I mean, to be fair, I still have 8 left, so I'm not too concerned at the moment. Yeah, the flying ninjas that can suicide bomb are definitely the worst. Can confirm. I'm gonna make a slight detour here to pick up this Chaos Mask. This is an accessory that I can equip, and it actually increases my strength and vitality by 3, which makes it so that I can equip some of the more powerful blades that we have picked up so far and will pick up in the future. And now we will break down this barrier, jump down a well, and land in Hell. I would have thought that the entrance to Hell would be in a rather inconspicuous well, huh? I mean, that basically tells us to not just willy-nilly go down and jump down a well, because you could end up in Hell. I mean, you know, I'd rather not do that myself. Don't know about you guys. And this was actually one of the encounters that we absolutely do want to skip. You might have seen them just with a little glimpse there. There were 2 very big Oni entering the arena from the right and the left side. And these are absolutely brutal enemies to fight. They have a lot of health, they deal a lot of damage. It's very hard to not get hit by them, and you are just gonna have a really bad time if you have to fight those. And that is why we need so many smoke bombs here, that every time we get, or we would get into a fight with them, that we can just immediately escape. I think everybody who has played this game casually and fought these guys knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, one more screen to get through, I think. No, two more. Yep, this is why we need all those smoke bombs. Oof. I think we used 4 so far. Up, and here goes the 5th one. Like I said, you want at least 6 to be on the safe side. Okay, 6th boss, the big Oni. He is a bit of an odd one for sure. Because for some reason Momohime decides to take over at this point. You know, we are in hell. Why the hell do you want to be in control of the body at this moment? But apparently he just wants to talk to these Oni. Because they are such good people? Creatures? Whatever. And she immediately proceeds to get eaten by one of them. Great. Well, that's basically where Jinkaro takes over again and, you know, gets us out of trouble. Just gonna wait here. Ah. I was waiting a little bit too long. But no matter. Now what we're gonna try to do here, you want to try to either stay on his belly or get on top of his shoulders and repeatedly hit his head to stun lock him so he doesn't do anything stupid. Because that guy has some really powerful abilities that we absolutely do not want to see if we can help it. Ah, over damage a little bit too much. No matter. Can just continue this. The problem with this is that these little Oni, they will try to hit you with their throwing weapons, and that can mess with your positioning quite a bit. So it's actually really hard to try and stay on his belly here. Believe you me. But yeah, you can kind of see how this fight plays out. We just get eaten at certain points, then go back outside again and rinse and repeat. And now he got angry, so you have to hide behind these rocks, I think they are. Oh, come on, dude. Why so angry? Well, like I said, you can also do this on his head. However, it is way harder to do it on his head because if you end your combo with the slide, there is a high chance that you will slide off of him. And it might take you too long to get back onto his head to keep repeating the cycle so he doesn't enrage. Well, this is a very tricky fight. Yeah, the more of these little Oni there are down there, the harder it is actually to stay on top, because they will just repeatedly try to knock you down. Interestingly enough, they're not doing a very good job of that right now. So I was able to stay up top, basically unimpeded, which is pretty nice. Okay, last health bar. He will probably enrage in just a moment, just like that. These little bastards will just continuously try to shove you out of the cover. Okay, once you're down to the last health bar, he will not try to eat you anymore. And after you've stunned him, you'd best go back to one to cover for just a short while so he doesn't immediately enrage again. Okay, we can try to end the fight here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Could have been a little bit cleaner, I think, but overall it wasn't too bad of a fight. Okay, once again, goodness, gonna talk with all the NPCs here. So it turns out there actually is the blade that we're looking for is not here. So once again, we are contemplating what to do. So Junko decides he wants to storm the gates of heaven and become an evil demigod. So I guess we're gonna try that now. First of all, more cooking though. I mean, you know, if you can't find a sword in hell, why not try storming heaven? Seems like a good alternative to me, I guess. I mean, you say what you want, but the dude is definitely ambitious, you know. He has his sights set high. Now that we are on chapter 7, we can start finding Uchimori whetstones, and these are critically important for the very last boss that we're gonna fight. If we don't pick up enough of these until we face them, we are in very big trouble. So I have to make absolutely sure that I pick up all that I can. Also, I have to take this fight because I am very low on smoke bombs. And I need at least 6 once again for the next boss area, so I'd rather not use any during these fights. Will probably mean I will eat a little bit of a time loss, but there is just nothing I can do about it at this point. Because we used a lot of smoke bombs while we were in hell. Which definitely wasn't good, but... well, nothing we can do about it. From you here. Another tactical save. I hate fighting these guys. They aren't exactly hard to kill, but they can very quickly break your blades if you're not careful. Which makes finding them actually pretty dangerous. More ghosts, again, trying to save smoke bombs. So I will be fighting them, even though I really don't want to. Fighting them is really slow. It's one of the slowest random encounters that you can get, actually. It really looks like I used up all my good luck during my practice sessions before the marathon, because I got a lot of smoke bomb drops there. Now I'm barely getting any. Gonna pick up another Uchimori whetstone here. And we have made it into the boss area of the 7th chapter. This is one of my least favorite ones, I think, because certain parts of this are very hard to traverse, in my opinion. You will see what I'm talking about in just a little while. Oh my god, more ghosts. Are you kidding me? Wow. Yeah, the game's definitely not liking me today. Definitely know where all my bad luck went. Into this run. And more encounters, because of course. Not like I have a ninja art skill up, which would decrease the amount of encounters I'm getting. Just saying. But yeah, we are now making our way into heaven. Symbolized by these golden clouds that we find ourselves in. Yeah, definitely gonna run from you guys. Now these are the areas that I really don't like as much, because they are very vertical and there are all these poisoned butterflies in your way, which are just a pain to avoid. And the thing is, if you were not to kill any of these, you wouldn't get the results screen when you get to the end. But as soon as you kill only one of them, well, you will get the results screen, and that takes up a little bit of time to, you know, just close the screen again. And while it's not a major time loss, it's just really a nuisance to go through. Just like that. But we're nearly at the end here. We didn't actually need that many smoke bombs, which is surprising. It seemed like we were at least able to skip the big encounters. And we are off to the 7th boss. Now Raijin can be a really hard encounter. The goal that we have is we try to stun lock her as best as we can. Because if we let her roam free, she has a lot of time consuming moves that she can use. So he is hoping that I am able to stun lock her repeatedly. Okay, there's one. Got knocked back. Okay, she managed to break free. That's very unfortunate. Okay. This will be interesting now. Well, another chance. Nice. So I need to hit her 3 times with the special attack of this sword in order to stun her. But I can't use this ability in mid-air. I have to use it on the ground. And as you can see, she likes to fly around a lot. Lucky. Ah, okay, blade broke. Okay, now we just have to waste a little bit of time here in order to not get hit by these orbs that are chasing us while she is teleporting all around the place, trying to hit us with some murderous strikes. I mean, you can basically see how quickly this fight can get prolonged if you do not manage to stun lock her. What was that? Ah, come on. Ah. Please. Okay. Okay, we managed to get through the fight, but it was a, yeah, not a great one. Absolutely not. She managed to break free quite a lot of times, and that just wastes a lot of time. But at least, you know, you got to see a little bit of her movement set, and I guess there is worth in that. But yeah, we tried to force our way into heaven, and Fujin's basically saying no, we're not letting you in. So that's bad, because Momohime's body is trying to decay a little bit. So we don't have much time left until we were to die. Or rather, Jinkuro. So as a sort of... well, as a last resort, there is one more thing that we can try, and which is to get to a temple that can reach into the heavens, and basically try once more because if we get there, they basically can't deny us entrance. So we will now try to make our way over there. Gotta remember to pick up one more Uchimura whetstone around here. There we go. Oh, it's just a boar. That's pretty nice. Actually, can check. Can go ahead and equip this. Yeah. So the fact that I can already equip the Unrepentant Blade tells me that I am vastly overleveled, which means we fought way too many encounters, because in order to be able to equip the Unrepentant Blade, I need to be level 20, and I would normally get that in the boss area of this chapter. However, since I'm only at the start of the chapter, I'm already level 21. Yeah, well, we fought way too many battles during this run. Anyway, buy more smoke bombs and more pheasants. Ooh, might be a little bit of a problem, but because I don't think don't have any cabbages anymore. Did I forget to buy cabbages at one point? I might have. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's definitely of concern a little bit. Ah, it'll be fine. Also, just for reference, the sword that I'm using now, the Unrepentant Blade, we got that after defeating the boss of the fourth act in the game, you know, Ipondatra, that boar that we fought. And we are now, you know, in the final act of the game, so that should tell you how underleveled we actually are at the moment. In other words, a lot. Okay, and here we are on Mount Congo in the Ringen Shengen Temple. Oop. What's a fun fact? This is actually the same temple that we will enter in just a moment that you would also visit in Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. You know, just saying. So if you've played that game, this might look a little bit familiar, maybe. Yeah, RNG definitely isn't having my back during this one, for sure. Ah, well, what can you do? Like I said in the beginning, this is a very RNG heavy run. And there is just nothing you can do about it, other than, you know, appreciate the wonderful art style. And the awesome music. One escaped, didn't it? Yeah. Ah, come on. Can you not? God. Didn't want to do that, but God. If you miss one of these, it's just pain to chase down. Well, you should have just used the second sword draw like right at the beginning. You know what? I'm actually not gonna fight you. If you can, try and avoid fighting silver ninjas, because they have vastly improved health over the others, and they self-destruct when they die, which deals just a ludicrous amount of damage to you. By all means, find normal ninjas, but try to stay clear from the silver ones. Can try and collect this item through... Yep, there we go. That took way longer than it should have, but we still got it. Also, this is the longest dungeon in the game. Like, I think all the other areas that you've seen me gone through have about 10 areas or screens or whatever, you know, roundabout. This one has, I think, 34. So, yeah, it is one big temple. So we're just very slowly making our way over to the top here. And I think I am free to just go ahead and use Smoke Bomb for the rest of it. I might have misjudged, but I am willing to take that risk. I mean, I should probably fight these encounters with just the 3 monks. It'll be fine! Okay, I can definitely do this here. Oh, nice, got them all with 1. That saves time. Immediately you get a next encounter. Why did you not die? Yeah, just making our way up top. Doesn't matter if we get poisons, it doesn't deal that much damage. Yeah, I think this is the last tower that we have to ascend. Okay, nearly there. Okay, I probably could have escaped from 1 more encounter as far as I see here. Alright, yeah, we don't have any cabbages. Oh, that is not great, but nothing we can do about it. This is where we will actually go ahead and equip all the whetstones that we picked up earlier during the run. Especially the Uchimori whetstones. Now what the Uchimori whetstones allow us to do, once we use one of these, it doesn't actually replenish the spirit gauge of our swords, but rather it makes it so that using our special attacks does not deplete the spirit gauge for a short while, so we can just go ahead and absolutely spam the hell out of that. And that is basically how we are going to defeat the last boss here. Because we're fighting 3 entities, they're those 2 guardians and the huge statue in the back. And the goal is we have to defeat one of these guardians, and then one of the seals on the statue breaks and we can destroy that body part of the statue. And then the guardian will revive and the cycle will basically continue. So first of all, I want to get rid of this guy. I can somehow make it. So he's now destroyed, which means I can go ahead and attack that body part of the statue right over there. He's already back, that's not good. Oh, it's destroyed though, okay, will work. I want to try and kill that guy. Okay, he is down, which means I can now just kill the toe here. Okay, now that these are destroyed, I will now use my Uchimura Whetstones and I will just spam the hell out of the special attack of this sword in order to destroy the guardians for the seals and then the body part of the statue. Because normally I would have to, you know, go all the way up on the statue using the platforms and whatnot. But as you can imagine, this is way easier to do. Ah, shit. And there we go. And that's time. Oh. That is the run, everybody. We did the thing in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Obviously, not quite, but I guess close enough. Yeah. That is it. I mean, we can't just have a walk around here and start up the epilogue, but there is not much else to do here. We have now unlocked the first ending of the game, or of Momohime rather. If you were to play this game casually, you would now switch over to Kisuke. He is the second playable character, get his first ending, which then allows you to get the second ending for both Momohime and Kisuke, and once you get both of those, you can once again go ahead and get the third ending for each character. So it actually has a lot of replay value. And you actually have to go ahead and get each ending in sequence. There is no way that you can get one of the other endings earlier than that, because you actually can get even more swords. I mean, we barely scratched the surface. We get like, I think 21 swords out of the 108 that the game provides. So there is a lot of stuff more to do here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this speedrun. It's a absolutely wonderful game. Even if you don't want to speedrun this game, I absolutely implore you to pick it up casually, because it is just a treat. I mean, it is on PlayStation Vita, it is also on the Wii. I don't know if it is on the Wii Shop on the Switch, might be. You have to probably go ahead and check that out for yourself, but it's a fantastic game, highly enjoyable. I can absolutely recommend that. And yeah, with that, I guess my time here at Obscurathon comes to an end. I wish all the runners the best of luck. We still have a couple more runs to go through, some more obscure speedruns to show off, so stick around, go ahead, watch those, and I hope I see you guys soon again. Until then, bye bye!